Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. It is so good to be here today. Today, we're going to talk about self love. I told you guys that we would have a different topic. In January, we talked about, for the 4 weeks, we talked about, um, hi, Esther. Thanks for joining. In January, we talked about new beginning, and this month, we're going to talk about how to love ourselves, how to love other people, and how to just make sure that we are establishing those foundation in love or correcting whatever it is that we need to correct when it comes to the way that we are able to accept love, receive love from other people, and also from ourselves. So I want to talk about self-love first because there's absolutely no way that we can love other people if we do not love ourselves. And I think that should be our foundation. We should be able to extend that love or feel that love from ourselves first before we can extend it to other people, or even before we even try to accept it from from others. And in the United States, there are so many people, over 100, and I think the number is 165, 165 million people feel like their self love is low, like they don't love themselves. And you would think that in the age that we're living now, where everybody's on social media and posting about themselves and focusing on, the best part of them, and shining themselves out to the world, you would think that the people in the world, that their self-esteem and self-love would be really high. But on the contrary, it is the opposite, because they don't feel good. People don't feel good about themselves. And because people don't feel good about themselves, then they tend to look for the likes, or look for the places that will, like, external validation, things that will bring that into them, like somebody liking their pictures or something like that. And that's not really doing anything, because they constantly crave the attention and constantly desire for people to send them that love, because internally they don't really feel good or super confident about themselves. And I'm not talking about everybody, but that's the case for a lot of people. And I think the numbers are speaking for themselves. Like 165 million people not feeling good about themselves is a pretty big number, even for a country like the United States. So self love is pretty much opening yourself up to happiness without criticism, blame for things that are outside of your control. There's a lot of people that are very hard on themselves. So being able to love yourself is to be able to accept all parts of you, to accept that, okay, I'm faulty. There are some things that are not ideal in me. Especially as humans, we have gone through a lot of trauma in our lives. Like every person have at least gone through one trauma in their lives. So because we have gone through things and we have gone through experiences that were not ideal, then that causes us to not react in the ideal way or be perfect in any way. And we have to be able to accept all parts of us, accept the part that is not patient sometimes, accept the part that gets angry, accept the part that sometimes makes the mistake and hurt somebody else through our words. And there are different parts, the parts that has the bad habit that you hate but that you don't want to do anymore. Accept all parts of yourself. And it doesn't mean that those parts can't change. It means that there's a level of acceptance that this is me, and this is who I am, and I'm working towards changing the parts that I don't like, but at the same time there is space for all of me. So learning to love ourselves, and sometimes the way that we speak about ourselves, the way that we speak to ourselves, is extremely important in learning to develop more love towards yourself. Because if you're constantly saying, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, I should know better, or oh my gosh, I should have never done that, how can you be so this or that, whatever negative words you use towards yourself, that's not really treating yourself in a way that's gonna make you feel loved by you in any way. So we need to watch the way that we talk about ourselves and the way that we express certain things toward ourselves. Oh, I messed up today, this is what I should have done better. Next time I will make sure that I do this, and that to make sure that I don't react the same way, or that I don't respond in the same way to whatever it is that we are judging ourselves or blaming ourselves for. And sometimes um, it's hard to love ourselves if we are in an environment that constantly is putting us down. So it's important that if you find yourself in an environment that is putting you down, or that you don't feel that does somebody who's around you who doesn't make you feel good about yourself. Let's say you have that friend or that partner that's always telling you how bad you are, or oh, you messed this up again, and somebody who doesn't allow you to really be human. It's absolutely important that we watch our environments and watch the people that are around us, because all of that impact the way that we feel about ourselves. We can think of ourselves as strong. Oh, I'm strong. Whatever this person is saying is not impacting me in any way. It doesn't matter, what they are saying. But internally, there is a part of you that is taking that in. Little by little, you taking it in, and you have no idea that you're storing it up. And eventually, no matter how strong you feel or you think that you are, eventually these words or this environment will begin to impact you, impact the way that you see yourself. So if there's an area or somewhere or someone that is constantly talking down to you, or making you feel like you don't have any value, or that you can't do anything right, it's important that you begin to set boundaries with those people, so that you can protect your space and you can protect yourself. Also, one thing that you can do to increase your self love is to increase your self compassion, to have that grace for yourself, to be able to make mistakes and be okay with mistakes. Mistakes are actually really, really good for us. When we make a mistake, we are able to learn from them. We are able to move forward in a better way. We are able to not repeat the same thing, because we know now that it doesn't work. When we make mistakes, it teaches us something. And mistakes, if you learn how to learn from your mistakes, then it will leave you in a more positive space about who you are, right? Just because I'm not what I do and you're not what you do. So just because you have done something, it doesn't mean that automatically that turns you into a different person. If you make a mistake and do something that is, let's say for example, doesn't make you proud, it's that's just what it is. You did something that doesn't make you proud. It doesn't mean that you become somebody else. So extending self-compassion when we make mistakes is extremely important, because it will help us to be able to see ourselves differently. But not only that, it will allow us to accept the part of ourselves that we need to accept, and to extend that love towards ourselves. And a lot of people, I find that we are more compassionate towards other people than we are towards ourselves. Let's say, for example, a friend did this, then we are quicker to forgive other people than we are to forgive ourselves. So, the same way that we are open to forgiving other people, the same way that we are open to see their side of it, I want you to think about you too. Think about you and think about, okay, so what about me caused me to react in this way? Or what about what happened to me in the past? Or what part of me could have triggered this kind of reaction? What hurt me, or what is impacting me in this moment that is causing me to do this? And by doing that, by slowing down and by recognizing, okay, there's something else inside that has caused me to react in this way, and it's not because I'm stupid, or it's not because I'm bad, that is causing me to react in this way. And that will allow you to be able to extend that compassion towards yourself. And self-care is something that I'm always talking about. Self-love and self-care they go hand in hand. Like, you can't not take care of yourself and expect to love yourself. The things that we care about, we take the time and we nourish them. We take the time and we take care of them. Let's say, for example, you like plants. If you like plants and you want to grow them, automatically you're gonna take the time every day to water that plant. You're gonna put it by the window so it can get sunlight, or you're gonna leave it outside in a place. You're gonna learn everything that you need to learn about that plant so that you know how much sunlight it needs and what it needs. And I find that sometimes we need to treat, and all the time we need to treat ourselves like these plants and really take care of ourselves in this way. So for me personally, some days I'm one person that is usually very hard on myself because I have certain expectations for me and a certain way that I like things to be done. And that just causes me to just want to be hard on myself sometimes. And I had to intentionally learn to slow myself down. And some days I wake up and I'm still exhausted. So if I wake up and I'm still exhausted, then my body is telling me, okay, you didn't get enough rest, or you did too much the previous day, and you need to pretty much take the time to take care of yourself. And sometimes I create time so I could take a nap because my body at that time is asking me to take a nap. Sometimes I just need to slow down and just do a short 10-minute meditation. Sometimes I just need to move an appointment within my schedule as much as I can, move an appointment so I can have that break in the middle of the day because maybe I've overbooked myself. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, because most of the time your body will tell you exactly what it needs. And if and while you learning to take care of yourself, then your amount of self-love will begin to grow over time, because you will notice little things about yourself that you didn't notice before. And the last thing that I'm going to share today is to do daily affirmations. And that goes along with the first point that I shared, which was your self talk, watching how you speak about yourself. And I am statements are statements that nobody else can say for you, because the moment I say I am, it has to do with me. I can't say I am and I'm talking about you. So when you say I am this, that, and that allows you to directly speak to yourself the things that you want to either become, the things that you want to accomplish, the things that you want to celebrate about yourself, the things that you want to appreciate about yourself. So I would say automatically just train yourself. And YouTube has so many affirmations. You can train yourself every single day to say those affirmations to yourself. I am brave. Or if you find that in the moment you're struggling with sadness, or you're struggling with anxiety, I am calm. I have access to peace. Say things like that to yourself, and say the things that you want to see in you to yourself. And the next thing I'm going to say, do it in front of a mirror. When you speak directly in front of a mirror, you're speaking directly to your soul. You're speaking directly to your inner parts, so that sometimes we know things in our head, in our minds, but they don't get to our hearts. And if you look at yourself, you can notice, okay, I notice me. I'm seeing me. I'm not paying attention to anything else, but I'm looking at me and I'm taking care of myself in this moment. So if I'm looking at the mirror, I'm going to look at you as I'm doing this. If I'm looking at the mirror and I'm like, I am brave, I am smart, I am talented, I am resilient, I am trustworthy. If I'm saying those things to myself, then it's easier for it to get down to the deepest parts of my heart. And sometimes it's more complicated than it is, because there might be some things that are blocking it, right? There might be a wall that's like keeping you from receiving that love from yourself. But I think consistency in expressing and giving that love to yourself will teach you how to better accept it in the future. And sometimes it may require therapy for you to be able to really just get rid of all of those walls, because sometimes when we've been hurt in the past, let's say for example your mom abused you as a child, or your dad abused you as a child, and you learn that the people that are saying that they love you, that they pretty much won't protect you, and that it's your job to protect yourself. So even in the moments that you may be trying to um, express that love towards yourself, that wall that is there to keep bad things from happening to you is also keeping good things from coming in, like love. So in order for you to free yourself from that and be able to take in love, you have to be able to just get rid of the wall. So sometimes it might take deeper work of exploring the walls through therapy so that you can remove those parts and be able to express that love for yourself, but to yourself. But I think starting out with yourself and looking at yourself and figuring out, what do I need today? How can I show love to myself today? What do I need so I can feel loved and appreciated and valued today? And so many times we look to our spouse, or we look to friends, or we look to other people to come and make us feel good and validate us when it's already inside of us, and when we have the power to really extend that to ourselves. So I want to just invite you today on this short live to just pick two things out every day of how you're going to show love to yourself, and just be consistent with those for at least 21 days. 21 days is how long it takes to build a habit. So do it for 21 days, whether it is waking up in the morning and finding a short meditation that validates you and deals with the things that you're working on for yourself, or whether it is to just do something that has to do with self-care. But I think it's important, and you have the power to do that for yourself, and begin by loving yourself. And sometimes you may need to, I talked about forgiveness last week. If you want to go back and watch that, it may start with you forgiving yourself, so that you can then free yourself, so that you have permission to love yourself. So if you guys have questions, you can post them in the comments, or in the question box, while I run through my short announcement. So if you guys didn't know, I am from Haiti, and I was born and raised in Haiti, and I came here about 14 years old. And it's been in my heart lately, to because I noticed that there weren't enough resources for Haitian people, enough resources in Creole for Haitian people. And I know Haitian therapists are very rare, and if they're Haitian, sometimes they're not comfortable enough with speaking Creole, so that they can be able to provide that support to the Haitian community. So I have decided to start a something like an Instagram live, but it's not on Instagram. But I'm creating a space where people can come in, and I will have guest therapists, guest Haitian therapists, that will be able to answer whatever questions that you have about mental health, or whatever questions that you have about the things that are going on in your family, and it will be in Creole. So if you know someone that's Haitian, I will add the link in my bio pretty soon. I think we're gonna meet one time per month, last or fourth Monday of the month, where we'll just talk therapy in Creole, so that you guys can have the space to be able to just ask questions or learn about mental health. Because I find that, especially the older generation, there's a lot of healing and a lot of cultural things that need to be tackled. So, and I am one of the people that will be able to create a change in that area. So if you want to join, or if you need more information, I will be posting some information about that pretty soon. But the first meeting is set for this month, if you guys would like to join. Also, I am running a parenting group that's starting at the end of this month, February 17th. If you are interested and you want to sign up, you can always go to nychealingcenter.com/upcoming events and click on the upcoming events, so that you can figure out about all of the things that we have happening this month and in the months to come. I don't see any questions. So since you guys don't have any questions, remember, you can always love yourself, and the love has to come from you first before you can receive it from other people. And I will speak to you guys next week. And remember, in February, we're talking about how to love ourselves, how to love other people. Is the parenting group going to be online? The parenting group is going to be online. I am not doing anything in person right now, because of the virus and for safety purposes. So everything is virtual, and we will be meeting online. Yeah, so have a wonderful day, guys. I will see you guys again next Wednesday at 12:30. Take care.